This video has been rated 18 for profanity. Hello, and welcome to episode 167 of Prog Review. And I'm doing this during the daylight hours, so expect my son to burst in and interrupt me at any moment. Yes, and today I'm going to be talking about Kingdom Come Journey. Oh yes, and this was donated by Daniel Moore. There seems to be a theme emerging here. Daniel Moore seems to be making a mention in most of my videos. The neighbours will talk. They really will. And I knew nothing of Kingdom Come, and after hearing this album, I wish there was some way of returning my mind to that unpolluted state. Oh, this doesn't bode well for the review, indeed. For those of you who are not in the know, the band was fronted by Arthur Brown, he of the crazy world of Arthur Brown, who had that one hit, Fire, where he set himself on fire. That was his thing. Oh, the 60s, it was great. And this band play a mixture of psychedelic and space rock. I mean, some say this is progressive, but I can't see anything progressive about this kind of music at all. The only notable thing about the album is that it was the first to use a drum machine in the shape of the Bentley Rhythm Ace. Now, don't be confused with the band Bentley Rhythm Ace. Bentley's Gonna Get You. Do you remember that one? No, okay. Well, anyway, the Bentley Rhythm Ace was produced by the Ace Tone Company, which later changed into Roland, Roland Corporation of Japan. There you go. I'm a font of all knowledge. The album opens with the song Time Captives, and it thumps along with the leaden drum beat of the Bentley Rhythm Ace and the wibbly wobbly synthesizers. And, you begin to feel that you're heading into Spinal Tap territory without any of the charm or humour, of course. Now, I personally find nothing in this music, and I'm using the bunny rabbits, a lot, that I find nothing appealing about it unless, you're imbibing certain illegal chemicals to enhance your mind. I'm going to use the bunny rabbits again, enhance your mind. Yes, indeed, this album was recorded under the fug of psychedelic drugs, and so instantly it's self-indulgent and, in my opinion, valueless. There's no value to it at all because it has no meaning and touches no part of the sober mind. So you've got to be out of your noggin to really appreciate it, and I'm the wrong man for that, I'm afraid. And then the next track is Triangles, in which the band experiment by using a triangle. Those metal triangle things you hit with a beater. When you was 5 years old at school, and if you were a good kid, you got to play the triangle here. Well, some wag in the studio decided to use the triangle to play chords on the guitar. I'm not joshing with you. It's in the actual sleeve notes, and what can you say? It reminded me of when Pink Floyd tried to make an album using nothing but household objects, and then they all sobered up and realised it was a really fucking stupid idea. Unfortunately, these guys didn't sober up. It's got electronic blooping and blurping and the ever evident Bentley Rhythm Ace, and it sounds something like the BBC Radiophonic Workshop would have come up with for dream sequencing Doctor Who, but not that good. Gypsy is another exercise in electronic wankery, yes indeed. It starts with some interesting synth melodies before launching itself into a full-on sonic attack, complete with electric guitar grating against the synth backing. Yeah, we get some Arthur Brown vocals, and he's a very powerful vocalist, he's a very good singer, but when it comes to the knuckle, this is nothing more than an audio shitstorm. It's fucking awful, it truly is. Whoops. Then the next track is something called Superficial Roadblocks, and it takes a more traditional approach, with Brown delivering another vocal And while it's just as awful as everything that's gone before, the fact that they actually sound like the band tried to make a proper song, instead of just putting a load of random synth noises together, makes it almost bearable. Then we have Conception, which for me is the best track on the album, purely because it's the shortest track on the album, clocking in at only 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Yes. Spirit of Joy was the single. Yes, there was a single. Can you believe it? And again, this was written before all the acid had been dropped, I think, and it sounds like a proper song, and would have been better if they'd have stripped out the drum machine and used some proper drums and percussion. It could have been good, but the dubious production choices that blight the rest of the album reduce this to nothing more than an electronic novelty. And the album is then rounded off by Come Alive, which starts with some spirited bass playing, and that fucking drum machine comes in, and then we've got some crunchy rhythm guitar. And for once, the band are in control of the track. It's okay, but like everything else on the record, it's just not to my taste. It doesn't speak to me. Now, this release on Esoteric Records back from 2010 includes a second CD. Oh, joy of joys, yes, a second CD. More. And it features a single cut, a B-side, alternate versions, and 3 tracks taken from live sessions done for John Peel on his radio show in September 1972. So, you get the full Kingdom Come experience if you want that. Now, to say this album was a fucking awful listening experience would be somewhat of an understatement, and there's very little for the likes of me to clutch onto. I mean, there's nothing in terms of melody or musicianship, or even ideas, proper ideas that any right-minded prog fan would, like. I know it's a sweeping generalisation, but yeah, you might want to pretend that you're some Mr. Prog know-it-all, and pretend to like this obscure record in front of your peers purely for the kudos points. But the bottom line is, this album is a 24-carat stinker. I mean, I don't say this, this judgment is not done lightly, I'll give everyone a fair crack of the whip, and this just is appalling. It's really bad. And it boggles my mind that the record label who was behind this originally let this band into a studio. It's just, it whiffs of psychedelics, and not in a good way. Not like, the Floyd or Hawkwind, where they might take you to, to a trip to the stars on a silver machine. Oh no, it's not that good. The furthest that Kingdom Come will take you is to your bedroom room floor, rolled up in the fetal position, crying for that fucking Bentley rhythm ace to stop working. Oh yes, it's bad. But don't let me put you off. Don't let me put you off. Go and torrent it or something and agree with me. See, I've actually encouraged you to pirate something, because I wouldn't want you to waste your money. I don't know which fucking joker suggested this, because I put this on the wish list because some joker said, oh, why don't you review Kingdom Come? Why don't you review this Journey album by them? Oh, it's really great. Well, tell you, mister, you're an arsehole, and don't ever leave a fucking suggestion on my comment section again and waste people's money, you mug. Anyway, the picture on the back of the sleeve, this picture here, I don't know if you can see that, should have been warning enough. Look at them. The band has their faces painted with metallic paint. That's not a good sign, is it? That's not good. Now I've got to give this a rating. So I'm going to give this album the rating it deserves. I mean, I'd like to give it a 0, but I don't know if we do zeros. Can we give it a 0? Can we? No, I can't give it a 0. Can't give it a 0. Keep hitting me drumsticks. It's terrible. I can't give it a 0. They won't let me do it. Whoever they are, the invisible people standing over there. So I'm going to give this 0.0001 triangles out of 5. Yes, that is 0.0001 triangles out of 5, and it has to be the single worst album I've ever heard. And that's some prize. Usually, even a bad record, even a record I can't stand or a band I can't stand, has some redeeming point. But this has nothing. No, there is no redeeming point about it, apart from them using the Bentley Rhythm Ace for the first time. Ooh, whoopee, ooh. And that's that. My name's been Darren Locke, and I'm warning you all to stay away from Kingdom Come's Journey, because it stinks, and not in a good way. It's a terrible, terrible record. Ugh. Awful. Absolutely awful. And that's that. Of course, if you've heard it, leave your comments in the box below. If you've torrented it, again, leave your comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me what your favourite track is. Justify this record's existence. Go on. I fucking dare you to. I fucking dare you. And that's it. My name's been Darren Locke, and I'm out of here. This is all too much for me. Only one more thing to say. Prog on.